Maybe the best way to start this video is take a look at the date. Happy Halloween! Warning. The warning on this spider video has been removed, and this video is highly educational. Crikeys, they're everywhere, these things. Yes, they've got that word starting with K attitude. Now I've established the date, I'm just taking a look under a water tank at our place and I can see a problem here. That there is redback spider web. It was more noticeable to me because I could see some blossom caught up in it. It's very typical. There'd be a small spider set up close to the ground. But as I track up here, underneath what holds this hose on to the water tank, I can also see the webbing of a redback spider up here as well. So let me clear the hoses off the hose reels here. This is sort of a new environment for redback spiders in a way, I suppose, because I'm taking out all their other environments. Well, they're just working out other places to live. Maybe if I flick this up and over, we might see a spider. Well, we might break the hose thing. Okay, I can see something there. Just there is a very small spider. It might be an immature redback. I can just nail it like that. Dusted. And this is at the bottom of the water tank. It really is almost the perfect zone for them. There's metal here. There's places to reside behind here. That's the perfect little home they're going to like. And I can see the webbings and drop down lines and things that they do, which is classic redback. I think it's really important to understand what that looks like. Very easy to see once things are caught up in it. When it's freshly made and there's nothing caught up in it, it's actually a little bit hard to see. What's worrying me here is now I look underneath this water tank, it looks like a fairly established nest. I'll just come in with my tweezers and I'll just see what comes out. If I see egg sacs, well, I'm going to be, will become very serious here about dealing with this, although I need to deal with this. Yeah, well, that's all actually from the, the time of year that we've had. This is all stuff that's come off the trees next to this. Oh, this is looking established. Yeah, okay, this is looking like older stuff. Okay, I'm going to come and hit this with a flamethrower. I'm going to do a really good wet down here. I'm going to hit this with a flamethrower. It's a lot of heat, and I think I need a lot of heat here because the spider's going to be living behind that metal piece there that I'm spraying, and I'll need a ton of heat to go in there to zap that spider. I've just seen that spider running for its life. It looks like a daddy longlegs. We'll save it and put it in the garden. They're a good spider. Come on, little daddy longlegs. There we go. You can have fun on that plant. And now it's good night, sister. I'll do a bit of flame, then I'll wet it, okay? I'll have to keep cooling this down, but I'm hitting it with more flame. Coming in for another blast. Really getting that flame under this tank. Okay, and again, I'm coming in and I'm wetting this down and cooling it right off. I'm gonna try and get flame right under this thing. I'm really serious here. Yeah. Nothing is going to survive that. I'm hoping. It'll be like a fire nightmare under there. And again, I'm coming in. Wow, that metal's got nice and hot that time around, and cooling this off. I just hope I've nailed what was under there. And because this is such a complex shape, I want to get flame coming in this way, so I'm going to come around this side of this tank, and if I shoot flame in here, that's going to get inside that metal piece. This should do the trick. And again, always coming in and cooling it down. I'll also come in and get the back end of it. There's probably spiders here as well. But there ain't spiders any longer. Yoo-hoo! Nasty business, isn't it? And this is right on the spider season, just when it's about to peak up. Thank goodness I noticed that web that was there, more so because of the blossom that was caught up in it. Well, I'm hoping that's cleared some of the problem away. I might have to do a nice washout of underneath this tank. As for trying to see a spider body, I don't think we're going to find it. I don't think I can see it at all in that. Well, we've dealt with problem number one. Here is problem number two. Yes, this is out the front of our place, not far from where my Toyota car is parked. There's a redback spider living here. It could be related back to that, well, that giant spider I had on the Toyota. When was it? Last year. Typical redback spider web, mangled web in all directions, in a sense, a 3D web, and the web is coming down and there'd be the drop lines and everything they do to nab critters. I dare say the spider here is living somewhere in this metal structure. It's quite a complex piece, this, and for the fact there's a wheel there and it could be in here as well. I think there's only one way to deal with this. You know how it works? Oh, hang on, before I do it, I've got to save someone. Lucky I look carefully here. Let me just reach in with my hand across the web and I'll just save a little critter here that's one of our friends, and hopefully I won't get bitten by a spider in doing this. Okay, I've got it in my hands there. It's a little garden snail, and we'll let that go somewhere safe. Somewhere over there is a nice spot. See you later, little snail. Just going to wet this area down first before I give it some heat. Okay, I'll hit this on two sides because it's a bit of a 3D object in that sense. And if there is a spider there, I'll tell you what, it ain't going to be there any longer. Just cool that down before I go to the other side. Just coming in on the other side. Okay, dusted. And again, cool it down after dealing with that Spidey. And on to the final redback spider that we're going to hopefully capture and put into the spider tank. It's quite a nasty little girl. It is set up around the furniture there in the old Thomas and Friends playset on the ground. I'll just start to unpick some of this. That's something that Fluffy occasionally sleeps in. I'll put it over there. I think I can also remove this top chair, but it's the bottom chair that we're going to have to be quite careful with. Okay, the redback spider is, I believe, up inside the chair here. There is lots of web coming from the top of the chair down to the deck here. All the classic signs of redback spider are the drop down lines. And down on the ground here I can see a couple of bugs and things that it's captured. There's a fantastic David Attenborough video that explains the drop down lines of these spiders, probably the best that I've ever seen. It would have been a nightmare to shoot because, well, basically these spiders don't set up their down lines unless it's total darkness. A lot of web here. Web's actually going back to the playset. Who knows, a spider might be over the back there somewhere, but I highly suspect that it's going to be up in the chair, and that's the next thing we're going to pull over. The thing that's going on the back deck here, and we are well into spring and summer temperatures are hitting us, is it's nice and warm. We're going to take a very careful look under this chair. Right in the middle of the screen. It might be a little bit overexposed because we're dealing with something in the sun on a black surface. I believe that's the spider, and I think it's a redback. Let me see if I can come in and grab it. This is going to be tricky to do, hopefully without squashing it and getting the spider tank. Okay, let me see if I can get her again. Being very careful here. Oh, darn, they're hard to pick up. She's moved to the shadows there. I'm just oh, she's on the run now. I'm just trying to find an exposure setting so you can see that spider a bit better. Hopefully that's it. Let me crack open the spider tank so they can have a new visitor. I've just got something else here, something that's from the aquarium inside. I'll just see if I can get her to crawl onto this net. Although she's going to probably want to run the other way, and then I'll get her into the... she's on the net, I hope. No, she's on the run, isn't she? They always are. Come on. I want to get you with your friends. Okay, I've got her on the net, and now she's going to come up to my hand, isn't she? And I'll just carefully get her over to Le Spider Tanko. Okay, she's in. That wasn't too hard. And let's not forget to close the tank. I will give you a bit of a rough and ready tour of the spider tank, considering it's Halloween. Yes, there has been action in there. The little redback who's decided to live between the metal frame and the edge of the tank, yes, has an egg sac of her own now. The redback that resides in the penthouse apartment here, well, she's now got 2 egg sacs. So yes, it hasn't taken long for all these egg sacs to develop. You keep counting these egg sacs, okay? In another corner, and this is a strange one, 2 female redback spiders have decided to live together. Maybe someone out there can explain what's going on there. Because normally these spiders don't like to be that close to each other, especially the girls. And in the final corner, this is the alpha female of the tank here, the most dominant one. There are 4 egg sacs there. One of them is a surrogate egg sac that was found underneath one of the garbage bins at our place. She's got a beetle there, which is their favourite fare. It's right on Halloween. Now, one of her egg sacs, the first one she laid up, would be well and truly due to hatch. And I'm just waiting to see spiderlings now. Quite amazing how dominant the alpha female in the tank is. You can almost tell who's the most dominant spider by what's going on the bottom there. And underneath the alpha female, you see the greatest amount of dead carcasses of critters that it's sucked to nothing. The other notable one is what I call the penthouse redback, who's set up in that bent bit of metal. Underneath her, there's a lovely array of black beetles. Yeah, love them black beetles. What's got me a little bit perplexed is I can't see the spider that I've just introduced into the tank. Maybe it's playing hide and go seek on me, or did it really go into the spider tank, or did it escape? Now I'm double checking the net here. Well, if it's done the bolt, it's too late. I've had a very good look down on that tank there and up on the structure. I can't see that spider. Well, there's one good sign here. Got a bit of a wally moment there. Nice bit of green growing. I don't like it when I can't find them. It worries me. Anyway, that's a bit of a, well, look around what's going on at Halloween time at our place with the redback spiders. That was a nasty find. And maybe that's a cue for me to come along and finally put this place away. I think I looked at this about a year ago, and then I had all this demonetization and weird things going on my channel, and I just stopped making videos. And this sort of got left outside. And, you know, who knows what's growing up inside this. It's been out in the sun a lot. That's one thing I would say. Yeah, maybe it's time to pack it away. And remember to put your toys away properly, in a nice, tidy manner. And I think the thing that's most disturbed me about the redback that was under the chair there, where was it lurking before it was here? Because I look very, very carefully at what's going on, you know, particularly around the warmer areas of our house. Later in this video, we take a look at the spider tank under good lighting down in the garage, and we have a close look at that new mysterious spider. Now I've seen it more carefully, I'm starting to doubt that this is a redback spider, but another part of me is saying yes, it's a redback. Just on the thought of toys that you want to put away, there are some that you don't want to put away. You want to come out and try and find this playset here. It's a Thomas & Friends Trackmaster Railway Race Set. This could be one of the greatest toys that I've ever reviewed on my channel. I've done the review of this. It's not up on YouTube yet. I got a sneaky suspicion YouTube's playing games with my YouTube channel. I'm getting extremely low subscriber runs, like only a couple of thousand views from a channel that's got 1.2 million subscribers. Can someone explain that for me? Let me show you how this toy works. Let's see if I can sell it to you, hey? Man, I really enjoyed reviewing this toy. I was very late in looking at it, and man, do I scream in the review as well. And in this one, looks like Percy comes through. But as I found out with this toy, there's a little, well, let's just say a little bit of fate that gets set up in the way the toy is designed, and actually slightly changed the design of the toy. I've added some track pieces to this that gets explained in the video I do. And maybe some of the best fun that we had was when we totally messed up this railway. We put the Tomy Streamliner Thomas on this against the Trackmaster 2 Streamliner. And you're probably thinking, that can't be done, Leah. Well, look what happens when you do this. Okay, they're ready there, steady, and go. Oh, Streamliner's away. Tomy. It's taking the high track and it's going to go. Oh, crikey, Charlie, it's going to... Did you see that? And sluggishly, the Trackmaster 2 Streamliner comes to stop. It's a little bit like chalk and cheese. Which one's the chalk and which one's the cheese? It's like that with those two toys. I think I need to see that in slow motion, because when I played with this toy, I never saw the Tomy Streamliner make it back to the stop go. Wow, that is amazing. Tomy Streamliner. When I did the review of this toy, I just really enjoyed fiddling with it. I really enjoyed examining how it worked and how to make it better. And I think that just playing with this toy, you can start playing with this and you never want to stop. Even though I've got a totally wrong train on this toy, and I'm going to see what was happening a lot. Yes! Oh, I never saw that happen. The Streamliner's been rolled by the Trackmaster 2 Tomy Streamliner. Can you believe it? And guess who's going to win?
Trackmaster 2 Streamliner.
Now, why I'm telling you about this toy review is that I've got a sneaky suspicion that when I upload a video, only a very few number of my subscribers ever get notifications. So it's almost like I've got to do calling cards, like pre-calling cards of upcoming videos, so people realise what they're missing out on. It's become very, very tiring dealing with the YouTube systems that used to be fine, and now they're very, very busted. And that's what I see. I've been on YouTube a lot. Hopefully I'm speaking the truth there. Let's have one last bit of fun, because this toy is awesome. If I could give it 1,000 points, I would. Go, go, go. Tomy Streamliner through. Oh, what's going to happen here? Normally it... Oh, crikeys. Can you believe it? It's done it again.
Tomy Streamliner. And the Trackmaster 1's crashed.
As I was putting the video together, I think it's worthwhile to come down and take a look at the spider tank. It's now the next day, so it's the day after Halloween. It was a really hot day in Sydney today, and I did find that spider, and I know a lot of people say, oh Leo, that spider you found under the chair wasn't a redback spider. Let's just take a very careful look at it. I did find it. Let's take a look at this mystery spider in a controlled, well-lit environment, and my audience will identify it for me. I dare say I'll get like 20 versions of what this spider is. That seems to be what happens. First up, I will say it is a small spider. Mind you, it had built up quite an extensive web network under that chair going over to the Thomas toy. Very redback-like-esque in that web structure. The spider looks like a redback spider, but it's not showing the markings or the red markings yet on this spider. It's a motley grey colour with stripy types of legs. I'm just pointing out to you what I see. And that hopefully helps in identifying this spider. Maybe seeing its attitude against tweezers will also paint a picture of what style of spider this is. It's funny, when I saw it react to tweezers, and I did this multiple times, I wasn't seeing the redback attitude that I would normally see if I did this against a redback spider. Even when they're small, they will react in a certain way, and I've showed that many times in my redback spider study. I know you want to hear what I think this spider is. Now remember, I'm not a spider expert, but when I look at this spider, there are elements to this which remind me a lot about a redback spider, but there are certain markings on there that I'm just not seeing. I dare say this is a type of widow spider, but exactly what type, I'm not that sure, and I'm sure the spider experts out there will inform me exactly what this spider is. And while I've got the spider tank under some nice lighting on the day after Halloween, there has been some spiderific action in the spider tank. Let's take a look at what's happened. And the most exciting news is, mind you, it's horrific news, the redback spiderlings have started to hatch. So it was basically right on Halloween, as I sort of predicted. If you go back and look at the other videos, I said we had a Halloween egg sac. Well, yes, I can see redback spiderlings in here, and it's the day after Halloween. Thank crikeys, I was right. Those spiderlings are minute and painfully difficult to focus on. I just hope that you'll see them. It does help when they're moving in frame. Painfully small little critters. That there was what I found in the garden last night. It's a giant millipede, and like a normal size one is just coming up behind it. Yes, I know which one I prefer. It'd be quite difficult being a millipede. Imagine trying to buy shoes. Be a massive job. There's one of those black beetles, extremely easy to find at night time, this time of year near Halloween. That is the, I think, the most common food I see redback spiders grab. They love those black beetles. There's a better view of the alpha female in this tank, the largest redback spider, and I think the egg sac, which looks to me like it's beginning to hatch, is that very dark one at the front there. Remembering that 3 of those are her egg sacs, and one of them is a surrogate one, which had the bee attacking it. Just look how protective she is of the egg sac there. She thinks I'm something coming in and threatening her. Quite amazing spiders, really. And really, from this point on, I can't have the lid of the tank off. She's biting at the tweezers there. And she is doing her web stuff. That's what they do. Stunning. Interesting pets. I think that's the best way I could say it. Dangerous pet, but very, very interesting to see the way they work, and I'll just leave her alone and let her settle right down. And yes, I better take a look at the little sisters that were together. That's a dangerous relationship if ever I've seen one. I'm pretty sure that sooner or later one of them will eat the other one. That's my gut feeling on that one. With the spiderlings now hatching, this tank is going to become very difficult to deal with. Basically, the lid can't come off. From the hot weather, I noticed more of the Vaseline is drooping down. That surprised me. We're getting a lot of hot weather very early in the season. And remembering where in the southern hemisphere where I live, it's reversed to, well, the bulk of my audience would be the best way of saying it. Let me get this on. Noticing that I have applied the muslin cloth. And I said the word muslin, okay? What goes on from here on inside there will rapidly decay into manic spider chaos. It might be very worthwhile to be educational and take a look at this here. I better show this to prove the date. There you go, Thursday 1st of November, that's the day after Halloween. And I'm now getting attacked by all these little flying bugs. And I've got to show this chart, but it's becoming really difficult. Crikeys, I've never had it this bad with the lights in the workshop here. Nightmare. Under much duress from flying bugs, I want to just quickly show this chart here. I developed this chart to basically understand how to pull down the redback spider numbers, to understand times to come in and interrupt their breeding cycle. Well, in a funny way, we're right at the start of when the egg sacs start to hatch, as we saw in that spider tank. End of October, Halloween. Okay, although I saw evidence of, there's a bug there, evidence of spider egg sacs quite earlier in the year. Mrs. K redback spider was back here in August, and I think I'm right this year because in the backyard at least I'm not seeing too much redback spider activity. Mind you, in this video a lot of that activity seemed to be out in the front yard, which is starting to scare me, and so are all these bugs. Okay, I just captured some and they're wriggling there a bit. They're dropping their wings very easily. What are these bugs here? They're crawling on my head. They're horrible things, lots of them. Obviously the lights attracted them into my garage here. I've never quite seen it this bad. I just hope they're not flying white ants. If they are, well, I'm in a lot of trouble. Oh, I never expected this to happen. I think I've got to deal with these bugs. I don't know where I'm going to put this part of the video, the extra bit from the next day, into the video. It's time to spray this up, I think. Get rid of these things. The spider tank is actually well away from this area, so please don't be fearful that I'm taking out the redback spiders. Don't like the look of them bugs at all. Yeah, but the fact that they were just looking for places to live, I think I've got to really spray this place out. They are everywhere, and this stuff's starting to choke me. Obviously the way to stop this is to turn the lights off, isn't it?